One other thing I would say about branding of Medicare, which I point out frequently to people, there is no better system for loving the free market than Medicare in my mind in this country. Because we have the perfect example in my household, which I know millions of Americans have in their household. My husband is on Medicare, I am not. He can go to whomever he wants to for the most part. He doesn't have one worry in the world about who he goes to see for his care. I, on the other hand, who have what would be considered now a Cadillac plan under Blue Cross Blue Shield, I am severely limited on my choice, my personal choice of physician. Severely limited. I have to fight for the procedures that I get done. I've had, in the last 4 months, those of you who follow my writing, in my last 4 months, I've had 3 prescriptions denied by Blue Cross, and saying that my physicians don't need to prescribe those things to me. My husband never has those problems. If you love the free market, you love Medicare, because you trust that a patient, given their own choices, will go to the best physicians, will go to the best facilities. If you want to create competition in this system of ours, give us all Medicare, and we'll go to the people who give us the best care.
Joanne? My name's Joanne Landy. First, I want to talk about this question of the fork in the road, or the narrative. I mean, what a lot of people are going to try to say to us is, well, Obama was too ambitious, he tried to do too much too fast, and we have to say no. The problem is he tried to do the wrong thing, and that this Massachusetts vote, whichever way actually wins, the strong drive against the health care bill that comes from independents and many Democrats is because the idea of a really rational, effective health reform program was never put to the test. And so that's why we're suffering. I'm not saying that single payer might not have won this time around, but at least you would have had a political movement with significant sections of the political world explaining something that made sense, which would at least have had a better chance of the next moment. So I think we have to spend our time immediately countering this narrative of he went too far, he did too much, and this shows, this Massachusetts disaster shows that people aren't ready even for Obama's program, so how could they possibly be ready for what you people are proposing? No, it doesn't work that way. Finally, I wanted to ask Donna, what chance is there that any sections of the labor movement, notwithstanding this, in my opinion, really terrible deal that they made, that reinforces the idea of labor as a special interest that doesn't care about other people, anyway, what chance is there on a state or national level that sections of the labor movement will work for single payer?
Well, I think there's a very strong chance. The AFL-CIO actually passed Resolution 33 at its national convention. They only passed 2 resolutions on health care reform, and one was to work and support this god-awful mess that they're doing right now. But the other one was a longer term, and it was 100% unanimous, was to vote that the union ought to work for single payer in the future. That's 11 million union members. That is one heck of a resolution passage. And although it didn't help us much this time around, it still did help us a little bit. We were able to weigh in ways that we might not have been able to had the AFL not taken that stand. So we do have that going forward. But you're right, you know, that the danger that we've seen through this legislative cycle is the series of compromises, one thing right after another, by every single group all the way down the line, which has made it very difficult to hold the line on anything. But I do think people are smarter sometimes than they give them credit for. What people object to in this plan is not just the Tea Party stuff. That's not all they're objecting to. They're objecting to being forced to buy what is essentially a defective financial product that is sold to them as a protection of health and wealth, and it does neither thing. People are not stupid, and people know they're going to be forced to buy this particular product that's not helping their families. My experience is no different than millions of other people. I tell people all the time, that's why I was in Michael Moore's films. Not because I was unique, it was because I was not unique. Because millions of people know health insurance isn't keeping me out of trouble, it's causing me trouble. As many or more people will go bankrupt if they get sick, as many or more people will lose their homes, and there's going to be an awful lot of people who are going to have a lot of trouble getting the care they need. That's not going to be a lost message on the American public, and that's what they're objecting to. It was a huge waste of political capital. I say that over and over again. What an amazing waste of the capital they had going into this effort. And we have to help them turn it around. We have to tell them, you wasted your political capital. Now, do you want to turn that around, or don't you?
Hi, this is John Wilsanko from the Private Health Insurance and Muskego Coalition. Hello, Donna. How are you?
I am well. How are you?
I'm doing well. My question is for all the panelists, and I think I'm really posing an opportunity for some self-reflection because people are angry, and this is like the winter of tremendous discontent. We've relied on endorsements from elected officials, Democratic Party elected officials, thinking that they would carry the water for us. We've relied on endorsements from labor unions, thinking they would carry the water for us. And I think we need to think about, with respect to a smart, aggressive electoral strategy, to reconsider the importance or the viability of possibly, over the protracted process of building third parties in this country. Because the Democratic Party has pretty much taken us for granted. They manipulate and manage. And we might want to think about the outside strategy. That, you know, to the extent that we get these endorsements, however they come, that we don't sort of like sleep on our laurels of having gotten those endorsements. That we have to like beef up the outside pressure to force them to do what they say they're going to do. I'm appalled at the sellouts across the board in the Democratic Party. And can we talk a little bit about that in terms of strategy going forward?
I think that's a great point, John. That's why I think along with a third-party strategy, and a lot of people really feel very strongly about leaving both the Democrats and the Republicans, either going to a Green Party, or I've even seen a limited move for a single-payer party. But I also think we have to send a very strong message and defeat one or two people who really let us down.
Sure,
and I don't like feeling that way, but I think we have to send that message and send it strongly, that there is a cost. There is a cost to you selling us out. And that political cost is we may work to defeat you.
I think I think at a practical power politics level, primarying from within the, as a left Democrat, as a progressive Democrat, may be more effective than third party. The other question to bring up is whether or not this whole, we're nonpartisan organization, do we need to spin off a PAC? This may or may not be a popular example, but there's something called J Street out there, which is the change in the sort of left-wing progressive Zionists, who finally, instead of having a million organizations doing nothing, finally got some unity and have both a grassroots, nonpartisan organization, and right parallel with it, pure legal fiction separation, a PAC that actually contributes donations, selectively to folks who say, who will follow through, because there's, playing the power money PAC game. PNHP is a nonpartisan organization. I don't know what the PAC would be, but